will say that in the beginning was the Word. According to many epochs, our universe was created with sound. What was that sound? Some will say it was the Big Bang. Everything in creation has a frequency associated with its existence. Frequency and vibrations have created the universality of languages, music, philosophies, and inventions. It is also recorded that the angels have caused stars to be lit and worlds to be born with the sequence of power. The gods have used sequence of power to create the galactic coordinates of the cosmos. Now, for the first time, the Sequence of Power series will be offered to 4 audiences only. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become a holder of divine power to change and manipulate reality. Divine utterance, words of power, Hekau, have all been used by the gods to shape the megaliths as well as a menagerie of spiritual enclaves all over planet Earth. The Galighticus movement has been given this divine ordinance to be distributed to those worthy of receiving such a magnificent blessing.
The way that you say the sequence of power is Shapus. Shapus.
Please join us in achieving the monumental feat of making humans as powerful as the gods that created the sequence of power.
You said it took you 6 years to emancipate your family, your ancestors. How did you know they were moved from the places they were on the other side to out of there? How did you know?
I knew that because I had to ask. I stopped struggling with money. I started being able to take care of my entire family, and I stopped looking for bargains and discounts. And someone said, well, it costs $10,000. I would say, okay, no problem. And I noticed that I started to have checks that were always coming to me from Screen Actors Guild and films that I've done, things that I've done. And then I noticed that there was a stack of checks. I've shared some of them on Facebook, and it was too much just to open up the check and take it to the bank or take a picture of it and put it in my bank, and they just sat there. I said, something's going on here. And what had happened was, I had achieved, and I didn't even know about ancestral lineage liberation until my ancestors told me that you have done that for us, and you will never struggle with finances again.
Okay.
And Liz always, right? Thank you.
Tuesday, I had begged Master Gano Grills for a healing because I suddenly became very ill and I couldn't do anything. And so he sent me some energy. So that night, I had like a recording that you gave me some small patches. It was in a circle, and half of it was green, and then the other half was divided into the color red and the color yellow. And you told me to put it inside like Walkman headphones so that I can hear the frequencies. I don't know what that means, and yeah.
Okay. It was an invitation that is a compendium of 3 energies that belong to Chango, Ochun, and Lord Thoth. Okay. And those frequencies will help to balance out some of the disturbances that you seem to come into contact with that cause you to get sick.
When humans, you mentioned, who don't form an alliance go to a wasteland. So do we have the ability through our altar to help them move, any of our ancestors who may have ended up in that wasteland, help them move from there to one of the heavens or a better place?
Absolutely. And I'm going to give you some very clear rituals throughout this seminar that will help you to help your ancestors to translate out of some of the conditionalities where they may exist. And if you are, I have a student that I refer to who lives in Denmark, and you guys know Anne, right? Mm-hmm. And when I first met Anne, I went to London to teach about 4 years ago, and she invited me to come to Belgium and do a seminar there. And a lot of her friends came. And I went to Anne's home and I opened up a pocket on her altar. And what had begun to happen is the faces in the pictures on her altar, which were her grandparents, the mouths began to move when she burned ancestor money to them. And they were mouthing, "We love you." And she would dream about them in black and white. And she asked me what that meant. And I told her they're not in a place of plenitude because of what they believed when they were alive. But through you, you have an opportunity to advance where they are. So over a period of about 2 years, she would always burn big guns all the time. She was very, very devout. She actually graduated the studentship program. And she began to dream about her ancestors in color. And then they actually brought her to their world. And then when she accomplished that, she was brought to the home of Archangel Michael. And when she went to his home, she said that it was very difficult to hold her form there for more than 3 seconds at a time. But some of the snapshots that she brought back with her, she said that the swords were bigger than this entire building that he has. He has a very interesting collection of swords, and she was sitting on one of his chairs and she was like a speck of dust. So she was invited to the home, but that would not have been possible if her entire lineage was not appeased with the interface that she had done diligently and persistently at her altar. So the answer to your question is, yes, you can bring your entire lineage out of different places, whether it be the Duat. All of you have ancestors that are in different individual hells that they've created for themselves. And hell is not, the purpose of hell actually is a cleansing, to cleanse yourself of the beliefs that you had. But if your beliefs were aligned with a divine alignment, then there would be no need for you to purposely walk into a hell to cleanse yourself of that disinformation, right? Doesn't that make sense? And not enough people on the planet know that, and that's why I'm teaching it.
You've been given a great gift from the gods, but nonetheless, the dedication, the discipline to answer the call is just so incredible that you've done it. And it filled me with so much pleasure that I just, out of complete honor and privilege to be in your presence and to absorb your light and your love.
I think the most important thing I take away from here is I will treat my spiritual life as important as I treat my physical life, and to develop daily ongoing rituals and pay very close attention to what exactly I'm doing in my spiritual life and how I'm developing spiritually on a daily basis.
I am so grateful.